Welcome to this video series, where we'll be diving deeper with our APN partners into their specific use cases and how they can help you as a customer on AWS today. I'm Trevor Hansen. I'm a Senior Partner Solution Architect with Amazon Web Services. Joining us today is Chris Dunlap, Senior Solution Engineer from HashiCorp, an advanced tier partner. HashiCorp holds the DevOps and container competency within the AWS Partner Network, or the APN. The APN is a partner program for technology and consulting businesses who leverage Amazon Web Services to build, market, and sell their products and services to mutual customers. Whether you are just beginning to build your AWS-based business or expanding it, there is an APN program to help you grow and succeed. Fortunately, today we have HashiCorp who's going to be unpacking 3 of the different use cases in 3 different videos. Today, we'll be covering Terraform. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Trevor. HashiCorp was founded by Mitchell Hashimoto and Armand Dadgar in 2012 with the goal of revolutionizing data center management, application development, and delivery and maintenance. At our core, we're an open source company that has developed enterprise-grade products that make up a suite of 4 products that are essential elements of distributed infrastructure. This makes it possible to connect, develop, secure, and provision your business elements. Today we will talk about 3 common use cases around what HashiCorp Terraform can do for your infrastructure. First, we will talk about ease of adopting Terraform as an infrastructure as code provisioning tool for AWS and on-prem infrastructure. Terraform was developed with the goal of enabling anyone to be able to read or write infrastructure as code. HashiCorp Configuration Language, or HCL, is human readable and therefore quite easy to understand and produce compared to complex structures like YAML or JSON. Terraform allows users to provision and manage public cloud, private infrastructure, and external services holistically while still preserving the uniqueness of each. The next use case will be about how to scale IAC collaboration and provide developer self-service infrastructure. Our last use case will be around using Terraform and IAC in highly regulated industries. Let's dive into the use cases with some of my customers' journeys. I'm advising a customer who is just starting their journey to the cloud. They have infrastructure teams who are using various complex languages to maintain the virtualized infrastructure in their on-premise data centers and AWS. These teams would like to consolidate that heterogeneous pool of scripts into one common declarative language. They ultimately chose Terraform for a number of reasons. The company as a whole is moving to DevOps methodology, and with this came a mandate for infrastructure as code. By moving to Terraform, they met their goal of reducing time to provision, stopped botched deployments, and they can now operate effectively at scale. The company wanted to quickly ramp up on a new infrastructure as code tool, and they turned to Terraform because of our HashiCorp configuration language. HCL is meant to be human and machine readable. Therefore, their infrastructure teams could quickly come up to speed on a common IAC language. Since the company is mainly operating on-prem data centers and just starting their move to the cloud, they can use Terraform to manage on-premise infrastructure as well as cloud infrastructure in one workflow. Terraform has a very robust ecosystem of 200+ unique infrastructure providers that can manage things like network equipment, load balancers, firewalls, virtualization environments, hyper-converged environments, and containerized environments. I'm also working with a customer who has moved about 80% of their workloads into the cloud over the past few years. They are now looking to provide Terraform as a shared service for the entire company. They started using Terraform with a team of 4 to 5 people who are running their cloud infrastructure. They have now grown to several teams managing the infrastructure across the company. This has introduced complexities with collaboration that comes with using infrastructure as code at scale. They managed to solve the following issues by moving from Terraform open source to Terraform Enterprise. At this customer, internal audits of existing code bases indicated large amounts of repeated code across groups. Terraform Enterprise provides a module repository for multiple teams to collaborate through a version control system on the same set of code to produce reusable infrastructure modules. This eliminates the need for reproducing the same code in small pockets across the organization. The customer's infrastructure teams were being inundated with infrastructure requests for development environments. Terraform Enterprise can help streamline deployments for ITIL-based organizations that are seeking self-service workflows. Business units that adhere to ITIL practices can enable native ServiceNow integration for Terraform Enterprise infrastructure pipelines. ServiceNow workflows can easily be integrated and automatically handled by a Terraform Enterprise pipeline. Additionally, Terraform utilizes a producer and consumer model, where producing teams can publish Terraform modules and create a library of versioned and validated infrastructure templates to be consumed for on-demand provisioning. The reusable bits of code, which are the organization's blueprints for infrastructure deployment best practices, allow development teams to reference pre-approved code in their own pipelines and reduce the time of developers wait for infrastructure. Next, let's talk about companies whose business is highly regulated. Any industry where compliance and auditing are a fact of life. My customer was tasked with auditing their infrastructure down to the keystroke. In the customer's industry, deviations from standard protocol can result in monetary fines and redactions of certifications and compliance. It is very important for them to have the ability to audit the entire process while protecting themselves from ever deviating from the rules. They were following a very long compliance checklist for all their infrastructure deployments, which was causing delays in development cycles, requiring time to remediate the checklist and deviations. The company turned to Terraform Enterprise to solve these issues. They were able to provide a full audit log and system log of every single command used to deploy the infrastructure, and they could also provide the HCL code as documentation of what had been deployed. Next, they were able to solve the problem of the constant remediation and lengthy checklist when their deployments would take place. They implemented the Sentinel policy engine built into Terraform Enterprise. Sentinel is our governance as code engine that provides rules around infrastructure deployments by declaring boundaries that stop deployments from happening if it violates any policy. Therefore, remediations were moved from the post-deployment step to the pre-deployment step with Sentinel rules in Terraform. This was able to free up resources and reduce costs while still satisfying the compliance requirements. The added benefit from implementing Sentinel rules is they now have a way to control cost before the infrastructure gets deployed. By utilizing Sentinel rules around cost estimation feature in Terraform, they now have the ability to set boundaries for business units around cost for infrastructure consumption and stop the deployments if the cost estimates are out of bounds, thereby eliminating their need to audit costs on a monthly basis and enable showback or chargeback mechanisms in the business.
Thank you, Chris. As you guys can see, Terraform Enterprise has become a really powerful tool for enterprise organizations. Obviously allowing you to streamline those workflows, be able to implement things like Sentinel policies to set up those guardrails around compliance, and be able to kind of put a really good filter in place to make sure that people can do some automation with the Sentinel policy to kind of catch those nuances. So thanks a lot for helping us go through that journey. Where would you recommend customers go if they have further questions, or if they want to dive deeper into any of these particular use cases?
Yeah, I suggest everyone start out by going to learn.hashicorp.com and check out our learning materials.
I also recommend that you take a look at the link in the bottom of the video. And thanks for watching this video.